Welcome to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. For over 10 years, Dan has been helping AM 1160 listeners. With so many companies to choose from and hundreds of loan options, the mortgage process can be confusing and costly. Be sure to listen each day for Dan and learn the difference between FHA, VA, and conventional loans. You'll also learn how to negotiate lower interest rates and fees, as well as steps to buying your first home and whether refinancing makes sense. Stay tuned to find out why Chicago's top realtors are choosing Dan Frio.
Welcome to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio, and I, of course, am Dan Frio. Now, I've had a lot of other episodes where we spoke about credit, but I have a YouTube video that's hitting hundreds of thousands of views, so I want to elaborate on that video. And basically, what today's show is going to be is the recipe to get an 800 credit score, or at least get you to that point of improving your credit scores. You might not get an 800 credit score. You might have dug so deep of a hole that you can't get there in the short term, but in the long term, we're going to put you on a path on how to get there. So that's what we're going to talk about today. There's basically 4 steps in the process of getting an excellent or almost a perfect credit score. So here's how we're going to start. So let me preference this back 1 second. I created a website. It's called Credit Scores, plural, creditscoresandmore.com. There's a reason for this. It's to help you. It's not to make me money. It's not to, push products that I don't believe in just to push products. It's basically the reasons why I cannot help you many times is because of your credit and or credit scores. Okay. Let me preference this by saying credit scores are huge in your life. They help you with obviously mortgages. And that's what it's tied to. That's probably the one biggest piece of the puzzle in the mortgage process. It dictates your insurance rates or how much you're going to pay for insurance. It dictates what your interest rate is on your credit card. Can it be 0, 3, or 28%? It also dictates, it might dictate if you get that job that you're applying for. Because if they pull your credit and they have the ability to pull your credit, you might be very much qualified for the job. But when they look at your credit, they're saying, you know what, I don't want this person because I don't know what they might do to make a dollar, I guess is. Here, I'll give you my point of view behind this. When I hire a loan officer, in this business, especially years ago, there was a lot of fraud. Okay. So when I would interview someone, I would pull their credit. If they had terrible credit, that means to me, they mismanaged their money. They mismanaged their money. Sorry for my wording, but they're hard up for income or money. What would they do if they were really stressed out and needed to get that paycheck for sure? Because most of the people in this business are 100% commissioned. Are they going to possibly create or commit fraud to get a loan through? So if their credit is horrendous, I'm most likely not hiring that person. So credit is huge. All right. So let's get to the recipe. There's 4 steps in this recipe. Let's say you're going to bake a cookie. And you kind of wing it on even one of the steps. How's the cookie going to come out? Don't know. It might come out very well. It might come out terribly. So what I'm trying to do is give you a 4-step process to say, follow these meticulously, and we'll get you in the best position you can be to get that perfect credit score. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the website, creditscoresandmore.com. Write it down. I want you to go there. Okay. Here's the 4 steps, and we're going to cover 2 of them or maybe 1 of them in the first section, and then we'll get to all of them, and then I'm going to actually give you a few hacks. When I reference hacks, What I mean is I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and things you can do to kind of boost that, boost your credit a little bit more than you would just by going through the main process. This is a little trick that says, okay, if you did this, you're probably going to pick up another 5 or 10 points. Those 5 or 10 points make a huge difference. Okay. So first thing I want you to do, and it doesn't cost you a penny, is go to creditscoresandmore.com. All right. Step 1 of the recipe is getting a free credit score. Now, if you listen to any of my other shows, you're going to say, Dan, that credit score isn't the true credit score that's used by financial institutions, by the insurance companies, by anybody. It's basically an educational tool that helps you. So step 1 is a free system that'll give you what they call a Vantage score, an educational score. It's going to do much more than that. And that's why the system is called creditscoresandmore.com. It's going to give you monitoring. So it'll actually track your credit scores, credit usage. I get alerts probably every day or every other day through this system saying, great job, or oops, you ran up your credit card a little too much. So you picked up some points, you lost some points, and things like that. So it'll help you there. It gives you free $50,000 identity theft protection. Free. All free. So you're getting a score. You're getting a monitoring system. You're getting identity theft protection. And you're getting a whole bunch of educational tools. It'll give you mortgage calculators. It'll give you options of, if it looks at your credit scores and says, this is the best credit card for you. This is the best auto loan for you. And it'll give you the factors on what is your percentage of approval rating through this system. So, for example, you run your credit and then it comes back and says you have an X score and you say now, okay, I need a credit card. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a 0% transfer? Are you looking for perks when you dine out? Are you looking for money back? Are you looking for rebates? What are you looking for? So you filter in and you say, I want 0% interest. It'll then scan every credit card out there and it'll say, this one, you have a 98% chance of getting approved. This one a 97, this one a 50, this one a 30. Which one you going to use? So, you go to the 98, click, and probably in 3 minutes, in most cases, you're approved. So that's what this system does for you. It's step 1. It doesn't cost you a thing. Why not use it? It's free. There are things you can buy. You can buy upgrades. Don't do any of that. I'm not looking to spend your money. Okay. I'm looking to put you in this path or put you in the steps, giving you the steps of the recipe to get where we need to get you. Okay. So step 1 is we're going to get you a free system, credit scores and more. You're going to get your scores and so much more. Okay, that's number 1. What this system also is going to do is it will give you detailed information on your credit. It'll say your usage on your Discover card is too high right now. It'll give you options or recommendations. It'll say if you pay it down, here's most likely what's going to happen to your credit scores. So you can do a lot with this system. All right, there's so much more to it. All right. So that is step number 1. Doesn't cost you anything. You get monitoring, you get advice, you get a credit score, you get everything that you need to kind of start the path to baking these cookies. Okay. So basically step 1 is what I'm looking to do is I'm getting you all these ingredients. We're going to get a credit score. We're going to get all of your accounts. They're going to show up, disputes, collections, good accounts, bad accounts, auto loans, credit cards, everything's going to be there. Okay. Then we're going to look at that stuff. So now we have our recipe list and we have all the ingredients that we need to bake these cookies. Okay. So the next step, what we're going to do, and we're going to stay in that system right now, is we're going to go into your accounts. There was a study that I just read this morning, actually, that 70% of people have misinformation on their credit report. Think about that. 70% of people. You're probably one of the 70%. If not, God bless you. There's also 20% more that has derogatory collections or judgments on your report that are not yours. So just think about it. Have you looked at your credit? Do you monitor your credit? When's the last time you looked at it? If you get that one time a year credit score or credit report that you're eligible for, let's say you get it in January, by March, there might be something on there that you don't know. Well, if you need to get another free report, you got to wait till the following January. Well, now you have 9 or 10 months of that being on your credit report that could completely plummet your credit scores. So then you go to apply for something and, you bought a car. Now you need new car insurance. Well, they pull your credit scores. You have 2 judgments on there you didn't know about. Now your premiums doubled from what you used to pay. Not good. So these are the things that we need to do. So step 1 is we're going to use that free system. Okay. I'm spending this whole segment on this. It's free and it's awesome. Those are the 2 words that I can best subscribe this system. CreditScoresAndMore.com, complete step 1. When we come back, I'm going to take you from step 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to have complete cookies. So we're going to have those cookies the best we can. And again, my job isn't here. I'm not trying to sell you on this system. I'm trying to get you to a credit score that you're going to be proud of. If not today, not tomorrow, maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, we'll get you there. So please stay tuned. When we come back, I'm going to give you the rest of the recipes. God bless. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. So the next step in your recipe, we have your free credit system, free credit scores, free credit in just the whole bulk of information you have. Again, it's free. The next step is your real credit everything, credit scores, credit accounts. Okay, so you're going to say, Dan, why waste my time with the free system when it's not really, the things that lenders use, the insurance companies use, the credit card companies use? Guys, it's free and it monitors your credit. If you don't use it for anything else, monitor your credit. The credit score is called a Vantage score. Your credit scores that lenders and everybody else uses, insurance companies, mortgage companies, it's called your FICO. Okay, so there's Advantage, which is educational. FICO I'll reference it, is your real credit score that people use or companies use to grant you insurance or loans or credit cards, all that. Okay. Now we go to CreditScoresAndMore.com. Step 2 is your true FICO score, not your Vantage score. There is a cost to this. So do it. I would suggest you do it for sure. Why? We need to get a benchmark of what does your credit look like? What does it truly look like? The free system is most likely going to pick up everything you need it to pick up, but it gives you a credit score. So it'll say your Vantage score is 650. Okay. Great. Educational tool. It gives you all this other stuff. Perfect. Now we're on to step 2. I'm just going to go over this briefly with you. You probably don't know this. You have 36 or more credit scores. So when I ask someone, what's your credit score? And they tell me 630, it's 630 of 36 credit scores. So here's what happens is, I'll have somebody say, well, Dan, I paid off my car, but my credit score didn't change. What credit score? So I want you to spend a little money. Why? I think it is very important for you, not me, you. We get a benchmark. This is your real credit that's out in the world. Okay. Step 2, you're going to click through it. Order all the credit reports, all the scores. It might be, if you use the system, there's like a 20% discount. So it might be $45. Okay. You're getting a ton of data. You're getting your TransUnion credit score. I'll reference that. TransUnion credit scores. There are 12 of them. It'll give you every one. Here is your TransUnion mortgage. Here's your TransUnion auto. Here's your TransUnion credit card. Here's your TransUnion insurance. It'll break down everything. It's overwhelming. I would love to walk you through it if I have, I might have 10 or 15 minutes to spend with you. If you want to call me, give me your username and password while we're on the phone. I'll walk you through the pieces of this puzzle so you can see, we can explain to you, okay, here's all your creditors, here's the ratings, here's the verbiage behind things, and you can see, what is there. So, okay, let's go back. And what I said earlier, 70% of people have misinformation on their credit report. You're probably one of the 70%. If you aren't, God bless you. But if you look on that credit report, there's probably things on there that do not belong. Okay? So, again, now we have your real, true credit. Everything about you is going to be on that system. All right? So I strongly suggest you take a half hour and go line by line in these on this report to make sure the account is accurate and all your accounts, are on there. Look at it. Is there a collection on there that you didn't know? Believe it or not, and I pull hundreds of credit reports a month. Almost everybody has a medical collection bill, and almost everybody knows they don't know that they have that bill. I've seen them for $8, believe it or not, which is crazy. But if you have that collection on your credit, it is affecting your credit score. Okay? So, it doesn't matter how much you owe. You can owe $1. You can owe $50,000. The system reads that you have a collection account, what the date was, last active date. That's basically it. Okay. So that's huge. So if you have a collection account on there, it could affect your credit 20, 30, 40, 50 points. And it depends on when it is. So I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. I'm going to go down through some things I want you to look at on your credit report. And I'm going to give you some tips or tricks on what you can do to help improve your credit scores. So this section now is kind of the hacks and the tricks and the things that I want you to do. Once you get your true credit score, again, creditscoresandmore.com, step number 2. We've already done one. That one's free. We start learning the things about credit. Step number 2, we're going to get your real credit scores. Okay. So now I'm going to teach you a few tricks, tips, hacks, whatever you want to call it. We're going to have to take other sections of this website and we're going to talk about it tomorrow. So I'll make sure that I coordinate these on the radio. I make sure I'll coordinate these on my YouTube channel. I'll make sure I coordinate all these shows on iPod and iTunes and everywhere else. So when you're following this, you're going to get the whole recipe to cook those cookies and get an 800 credit score. So let's go back through. Let's say you had an account that was not yours. And it came back and you had a Discover card. It said you had a Discover card, but you don't. So it was identity theft. Let's say it's that way. You dispute it. What happens? What happens when you dispute an account? Normally what happens in probably 90% of the situations is on your credit report, that Discover card will stay there and show as a dispute. Well, in most cases, somebody frauded you. They used that credit card. They didn't pay it. So now you have a card that isn't paid. Who knows what the balance is? They might have maxed it out, which they probably did. And in the verbiage of things, it doesn't say it was paid as agreed. It doesn't say it was closed. It doesn't say anything else other than it's disputed. It's still killing your credit scores, okay? The next thing is we're going to talk about collections. A lot of people, you might have a collection on your credit report. You most likely do. What happens with that? Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick here. On the collection, when you're looking at your true, real credit scores, your MyFICOs or your FICO scores, check the collection last active date. If it is over 3 years old or more, don't pay it. Why? You're going to say, Dan, if I pay it, it's going to increase my credit scores because now I don't have a collection. Wrong. What's going to take place is, I don't know if you remember me saying, it doesn't matter if it's $1 or $50,000. It's going to say it's looking at is it as a collection account and the date of last activity. So if the date of last activity comes back, and let's say it's 2014, okay, so it's saying collection 2014, doesn't care about the dollar amount. You pay it now. So now it's saying collection, it's paid, but it's collection 2019. Your credit scores just went down because now it's reading collection 2019. Huge trick there. Most people don't know. Okay, so that's some of the tips and tricks that I have for you, the hacks. Tomorrow's show, we're going to go over the final 2 steps of the recipe. What are we going to do if we have a dispute on our credit? What are we going to do if we have a collection that's under 3 years? What are we going to do if we close some accounts? We have a co-signer that never paid. Things like that. I'm going to help step you through this process. Again, the process is taking you from your credit score, what it is today. And if you have an 800 score, God bless you. Let's get you to 840, 850. Let's get you the perfect credit score. If you have a 500 credit score, let's get you to 700 or 800. If you're at 600, let's get you to 700 or 800. This is the process of getting you to the end result that we need you to be for the best mortgage rates, the best insurance rates, the best credit card rates, to get that job that you're looking for, that you might be turned down because of your credit. Let's not let that happen. So again, please visit creditscoresandmore.com. Everybody out there, click number 1. It's a free system. There's no gimmicks. There's no gotchas. You're not going to go through a whole process and at the end saying, oh, you know what? You do need to put your credit card. You don't have to put a credit card in at all. So please do it. It's only here to help you. So tomorrow, again, we're going to go over the final 2 steps of the recipe. And then I'm going to, at the end of that show, I'll give you a couple more hacks that could add 10, 20, 30, even 40 or 50 points to your credit score. So again, this was Dan Frio. If I could be of any help to you, please reach out to me. You can reach me at 630-338-1160 or find me on the web at 1160mortgage.com. God bless. Have a great night.
You've been listening to The Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. For over 10 years, Dan has been helping AM 1160 listeners. With so many companies to choose from and hundreds of loan options, the mortgage process can be confusing and costly. Be sure to listen each day for Dan and learn the difference between FHA, VA, and conventional loans. You'll also learn how to negotiate lower interest rates and fees, as well as steps to buying your first home and whether refinancing makes sense.